over 100, which I'm more than happy with. That's brilliant. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. On part 6 or 7 I'm losing where I am with this build, but what we're going to be doing today is basically opening up the hole that feeds the main jet. Very small on a standard S24, 24, SI24, 24. You don't really need to open up the choke one, so that's only really used on starting. There's 2 holes, one in the front, one in the back. They've got one there, that's the main jet one, and the one towards the front does the choke jet. We're only going to be opening up that second one, so I'm going to get my drill bits out and I'll show you how to do that. Alright, I've got my drill rigged up. Basically it's that hole there at the back, so all we're going to do is just go through to that chamber. We don't want to go through that chamber, we just do this very slowly. That's it, that's in. Easy as that, just a couple of turns on the drill bit, and then if we take the drill bit out, and just push that through. Yeah, that's in. I don't know if you can actually see that. If I get a pair of pliers, it pushes in and pulls out. Probably needs a remount a little bit more, but I'm quite happy with that. Get rid of all the swoof. I can turn it by hand now and turn it back. Probably will put that in the drill a bit more just to open that hole a bit, because the drill is slightly grabbing it. The drill bit I should say, not the drill. I'll stick it back in there and just run it in and out a little bit. What you've got to be careful of, that you don't damage this area here. Once again, get rid of the swoof. So it pushes in and out now. If you can see that, it's not very deep. But that's free, and that's coming in and out now, so I'm happy with that. You just need to check that that hole and that hole are free. I'm sure I can see a bit of swoof in the bottom of that. Yes, I could, because it's clear now. You can quite easily see when it's clear. I'm just using a rag to clean out. what you basically don't want is any swoof to go in, because this is past your filter. So if you get any swoof in here into the main jet, that could get through the inlet straight into your crankshaft and your piston, cylinder, and cock up all your good work. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just going to run with the standard jets, because I'm not going to be belting around on this at the moment. So I just need to know what the jets are in the main. Starter jet, choke jet, they're all going to be the same anyway. So we're just going to rebuild this up now. A lot of people say to open these out as well, but you know, on the later models, as you can probably see, that's the same size. So that's the same size hole. It's roughly about 1 mil. These holes only transfer, they don't do any fuel. It's just to make sure the fuel gets around. I could probably clean them out a bit, but they're only transferring fuel into the float bowl. Just do that by hand, like so, and then when it pushes in and out like it's doing at the moment, see that hole's clean. And again, make sure there's no swoof. I'm just doing the second one now. And again, just go through so all the holes are that 1 mil. That's it. No, you don't need to drill holes in the side to make more space. What I'm going to do is use nice new gaskets. Oh, that's number 1, sits on here. Yep. And we need to put our choke jet in. These are all clean anyway. I've not long taken this carburetor apart and serviced it. As you can see, it's in good nick. The original carb to the scooter. Just again, with all jets, take them nice and easy, just tighten them. You don't need to force it home. You need to put the start-up jet or the choke jet in before anything else, because that covers it. You can open up that hole as well, which is probably what I will do. Where's the old gasket? There it is. Slightly not bigger hole, but a clearer hole. So let's get my all I'm doing is just opening it out slightly, give a bit more air into the choke part of it, so that hole's now quite nice and neat. We need to build the top up again, so we've got our I'll find it, float. That's one part, and I've got a pin there. I gave all these a clean yesterday, and I want that part there. Stick the valve in first, then you put the, if you look at that, it slides in there like so. Me and dropping things. There it is. Let's give that a wipe again. Again, you don't want no grit anywhere near anything on this. So if we put that in first, so you see where it goes. then it goes in the feeder tube till you line up the holes, and then you push in your pin, your pivot pin. So it's like that, and it moves, and then just push the pin in like so, so the valve will open and shut. What you can do is blow in here and open up and shut, and you'll know it's working. Yeah. Because I've cleaned this already out, we can now put our, I've not touched this, gauze, just put it back in place like so, and then you've got the cover on. Again, make sure this sealing pad, some are cork, this one's rubber. Put the screw on, and just give that a tighten. Again, don't go mad. That's it. You can blow in here now. I hope you can hear that. So my valve's working. What we need to do now is, hang on a minute, I'm jumping the gun. I should have put the gasket on first. There you go. So I'm just pulling that off again. And I'll put the gasket on first. This part's built up with that in there, and then our pin. A bit tricky to line up, but the pin will push through when that's in lined. There you go. Bit of fiddly, but then just use your screwdriver to just seal that. And I'll retest the valve. That, I knew this one worked anyway, but what we can do now is put that on the top. It fits just like that, and then we've got two bolts that go in. One with, I don't know what this number is, whether it's the guy who made it, but it was on there originally, so I've never seen one on a Indian one, but somebody will probably tell me they do come with them on there. I've never had one, you know, even brand new out the box, but, and all you do is then is tighten them up, finger tight again. And then just nip them up. I don't tend to use spanners or sockets on them. I find that it's not worth it. This inlet, I would suggest you just put this on loosely, because we need this on the end of the petrol pipe, and again, make sure it's clean. Blow through it. You can fit new gaskets, these are not very old ones, so just put that on loosely. We're in business there. Now we can put in our slide and our cover. That just needs a wipe on the rod. But if you look at that, that goes in that way, so that slide must go in that way. You can put the slide in. I'll give that slide a wipe as well. I did wipe it yesterday. These tend to be in good nick because they're coated in 2-stroke petrol and oil all the time, and we'll give our spring a bit of a wipe. So we want our rod in like so, and I'm just going to put the spring in. And if you look at the cutout there, there's a little pin that goes in that part, holds it in place. So the little spring part that leans forwards there, and all we've got to do is compress the spring, put that in, and then we're ready to go home with that. And it should slide in very easy. Then all we've got to do then is do up our 2 screws. Again, with any carburetor, never overdo a screw. It's very soft aluminium. Like so. So I'm just tightening them up again and just pinch it up. I've never known one of them come loose anyway. So if we look now, perfect. That's your throttle. What we've got now is, this is the air mixture screw. And as you probably already know, I always start with 1 to 1.5 turns out. I'm just giving it a clean, and I'm going to do the spring. Put the spring back on again, and that goes in the back here. I'll screw that all the way up till it stops like that, and you can mark where, you know, if you want to put a little mark on it, so at the top or on there. You can already see where I marked it last time, but just put a little mark on there. So we go half a turn, 1 turn, that's 1 turn, and 1.5, and I'm quite happy to leave it at 1.5. Back end of the carb's a bit dirty. Now we can put our choke in, and again with the choke, it's same as a Lambretta, it has to clear this air hole. So basically it pushes in and covers, I don't know if you can see that in there when you're pulling it out in here. I can't really show you without looking, but and all we do then is put our screw in, line it up, and just tighten that up as well. And again, as I keep saying, don't over tighten anything, then you can reuse the carb again. That should just push in, which it has done there. And that's home. Just nip that up a bit, and that hole which I keep showing you there, when you pull on your lever, that's clear. So when the choke's on, that's clear, and when it's in, it covers. I'm hoping that the lens is picking that up, that hole there. So you've got your plunger on, the acts on the jet basically. Our pilot jet is a 60, I think, or a 50. I can't really read it nightmare to read, but it's the standard one. I'm quite happy to run with that one. So again, just tighten that one in. It's the main jet that I want to see how big it is. So again, just nip it up and tighten it. No damage to the my nip away. I'm going to have to take a picture of that because I can't read it, it's too small. I've taken some pictures, so just putting the main jet in. It's a 116, which is slightly small. I'm going to be airing towards at least 118 to 20. I haven't got any of them jets yet, so I'll be ordering a 22, a 20 and an 18. Like I say, at the moment I'm going to be running, it's only undo the screw and pull it out. I'll show you. It's a 55 Pilot, hopefully you can read that. 160 BE3 and a 116. That's what I've got fitted in, and it is the last. That's the one that I'll be changing the main jet to. I'll probably start at 118 probably in the middle and see how that goes. Right, so apart from our throttle, and what that does is it screws in here and it acts on that slide, and if we screw it fully in, you can see the slide will open up. Which would mean the scooter would be revving its nuts off, but I don't know if you can see, I can get the screwdriver in there. Bring that up a bit and you might be able to see with the light. Yeah, see that gap? And if we unscrew that, so that's going to be taking the air out. So it's smaller at the moment, if you can even pick that up. But that's your tick over in effect. That's your air mixture, and you adjust this one if it's hunting, you know, if the revs keep going up and down, that's the one. And to get a nice even tick over, when you've got this one done first, the air screw, then do the return. Right. Used gasket. Right, this engine is more or less ready to go back into the scooter now, so I'm going to decamp from here, drag it into my garage and remount the engine. But I took yesterday as well, I took the liberty of putting the flywheel on and the timing. I have done a timing video again. It's dragging on a bit, but in its simplest form, it's turn the stator plate forward to bring down the degrees and take it away to increase the degrees. So the two marks, the lower mark on your standard stator plate that lines up with a mark would be 24, and you've got 21 on the second. I've set this as 21 at the moment, and see how that goes. Like I say, I don't know the characteristics of how this is going to even sound yet, but we're going to keep the standard exhaust at the moment, depending on how well that performs, because I don't want a rocket ship, as I've said to you before. Depending on how well it performs, it will be a case of that's good enough with that exhaust, or I might go to a Polini or something, a SIP, You're not going to be, you know, in the realms of top end Polini, Molossi, or never with that, because it just hasn't got the porting on it, and it hasn't got the CCs either. It's only a 208 or 210, but it fits fine. There's no, if you listen, I haven't got the spark plug in at the moment, but there's no rubbing. I've got no oil in the engine at the moment, because obviously this is out, the selector. That's the beauty of these. It's only really the rear brake cable and the clutch cable that I will be sacrificing anyway. I'm going to change them on this, inner and outers. I've got sets of them, so and they have been in about 6 years now. Whereas the gear ones have been changed, service intervals changed, so the gear ones are fine. It's just the clutch one's getting a bit mangled up, and the rear brake's getting a bit mangled up, so we'll put a video on putting them on. But at the moment this engine's going to go back into the frame, and I've got to stick on the rear wheel, and once that's the case then we can put our carburetor on. Clean again, leave the carburetor on the rag to stay clean, put our gaskets on, our air filter box on. I'll probably connect up these two cables, because I'm going to be changing the throttle cable as well. And using the bike recently, it's the throttle tube needs greasing. It's starting to feel rough. Again, your scooter will speak to you and tell you that you need to address things like that. You'll get rubbing noises or banging noises. Listen to it, and if you don't feel happy with something, this scooter's always been, you know, clutch is brilliant, gears are brilliant, throttle's been good, choke works, and just keep on top of it basically is what I'm saying. Don't go mad. But when you, like here with the throttle tube, where I feel it's sort of, it's grinding, so it's metal on metal, and I don't want it wearing out, so I'll take the tube out, I'll grease all that up. I'm going to be changing the clutch cable, and I'm going to be changing the throttle cable anyway, so you know, the headset top will be off, and we'll pull some new cables in. I'll show you how to do that. It's not a hard job, it's just, it's a monotonous job with a Vespa, to be honest, but needs must. So this is going to be the end of this one. The next time you'll see it, this engine will be back in the frame, and it'll be, the back wheel will be on as well. It'll be ready for its you know, carburetor and exhaust, and the cables connecting up. Thanks for watching. Take care everybody, and I'll catch you on the next one.